Love is the first and most essential bond, but it's also the invisible thread, woven with time, attention and tenderness, through consistent nurturing relationships, which creates the grounded and meaningful environments around a child.
January 2026. Kate Middleton appears in public, and within minutes, millions notice something is terribly wrong. Princess Diana's ring, gone. William's birthday silence, deafening. Then comes the video that breaks the internet. What body language experts discovered in the first 30 seconds will shock you. The tiny detail everyone missed. The hidden sign no one was supposed to see.
Just about happy, healthy children. This is about the society I hope we could and can become. Right from the early days, meeting lots of people who are suffering with, addiction or poor mental health, and hearing time and time again that their troubles now in adulthood stem right back from early childhood experience.
Palace insiders are panicking. The truth they've been hiding is finally exposed. What really happened behind closed doors? Why are they so desperate to keep this quiet? For anyone familiar with the royal family, this wasn't just any piece of jewelry. The ring features a 12-carat oval blue sapphire from Sri Lanka, surrounded by 14 solitaire diamonds and set in white gold. It originally belonged to Princess Diana, who selected it herself in 1981 when she became engaged to Prince Charles. The ring has been valued at approximately £517,000 in today's market, though its historical and emotional significance extends far beyond any monetary value. When Kate appeared without it, questions started circulating almost immediately. Some people wondered if there was trouble in the marriage. Others speculated about health reasons or whether the ring was being repaired. The palace responded quickly to clarify the situation. According to their statement, Kate had removed the ring to comply with standard NHS hygiene guidelines, which require visitors and volunteers in clinical settings to remove jewellery from their hands and wrists. This helps prevent the spread of infections and maintains proper sanitation protocols in healthcare environments. The explanation made sense from a practical standpoint, and it wasn't the first time Kate had removed the ring for similar reasons. During previous hospital visits, including one in 2018 and another following her cancer remission announcement in 2025, she had also appeared without the engagement ring for the same hygiene concerns. Still, the timing felt significant to many observers, especially given what happened the very next day. January 9th was Kate's 44th birthday. In previous years, Prince William had typically acknowledged her birthday publicly through social media posts or brief statements. More notably, Kate herself had shared a warm and heartfelt public message for William's birthday the previous June. She had posted a personal photo along with affectionate words celebrating him. So when William remained silent on her birthday, making no public acknowledgement whatsoever, people noticed the contrast. Royal watchers and body language analysts began revisiting older footage, looking for clues about the state of their relationship. But the absence of a birthday post combined with the missing ring created what many felt was an uncomfortable silence around the couple at a time when the public was already asking questions about Kate's health and schedule. Then, on the same day as her birthday, Kate released something unexpected. Instead of a traditional portrait or formal photograph, she shared a short film. It was quiet and reflective, shot in natural settings across the English countryside. The video showed her walking through snow-covered fields in the Cotswolds and Berkshire, dipping her hand into a cold stream and pausing to take in the winter landscape around her. Her voiceover accompanied the imagery. She spoke in calm, measured tones about stillness, healing, and gratitude. She mentioned how even in the coldest and darkest season, winter can teach patience and quiet reflection. The message was gentle and personal, focusing on finding peace during difficult times. She explained that this video was the final installment in her Mother Nature series, a project she had begun back in May 2025 during Mental Health Awareness Week. The series had been released gradually over several months, with each segment exploring different seasons and their connections to emotional well-being. The earlier videos had shown her in spring and autumn settings, often with her family, emphasizing the importance of spending time outdoors and connecting with the natural world. The winter video maintained that same soft, contemplative tone that had defined the entire project. Within hours of being posted to the joint Instagram account she shares with Prince William, the video reached millions of viewers. But the response was far from universally positive. while many people praised the production quality and appreciated her message about mental health, a significant portion of the public reacted with frustration and criticism. The timing proved to be deeply problematic. Britain was experiencing its harshest winter in a decade. Energy costs had risen dramatically, forcing families to make difficult choices about heating their homes. Food prices had increased substantially, putting additional pressure on household budgets. Hospitals were overwhelmed, dealing with winter illnesses while operating under severe strain from years of underfunding and staff shortages. Against this backdrop, Kate's peaceful imagery and talk of finding stillness felt disconnected from the reality most people were living. Critics argued that her message, while perhaps well-intentioned, showed a lack of awareness about what ordinary households were facing. The contrast between her serene countryside scenes and the genuine hardship people were experiencing became impossible to ignore. Social media discussions grew louder as the first days passed. Many commenters pointed out that while Kate spoke about reflection and gratitude, families across the country were choosing between heating and eating. While she walked through pristine landscapes on private royal estates, people were worrying about how to pay their bills. The disconnect felt particularly sharp because just the day before releasing the video, she and William had visited Charing Cross Hospital, where they met with cancer patients and volunteers who were dealing with very real struggles. That hospital visit had been well received. People appreciated seeing them engage directly with those facing hardship. But the gap between that grounded human interaction and the distant beauty of the winter video seemed too wide to reconcile. It created a sense that perhaps she didn't fully understand the moment the country was in, or that she was insulated from the difficulties affecting most people's daily lives. Supporters of Kate pushed back against these criticisms. They emphasized that the Mother Nature series was part of her personal healing journey following her cancer diagnosis, which had been disclosed in March 2024. They argued that she had every right to process her experience in whatever way felt meaningful to her, and that her openness about mental health was valuable regardless of timing. Some pointed out that creative expression and connection with nature are legitimate coping mechanisms, especially for someone recovering from serious illness. The debate intensified throughout the first week after the video's release. More than 2 million comments and shares circulated across various platforms, turning what had been intended as a personal birthday message into a global conversation about wealth, privilege, and the role public figures should play during national crises. News outlets picked up the story, analysing both the video itself and the public reaction to it. Some commentators suggested that the controversy reflected deeper frustrations with economic inequality and the cost of living crisis. Others saw it as evidence of changing expectations around the monarchy and how royal family members communicate with the public. A few defenders noted that Kate couldn't win either way, that if she had said nothing, she would have been criticised for disappearing, and by sharing something personal, she was being attacked for being out of touch. As discussions continued, the winter video became more than just a birthday message or the conclusion of a nature series. It turned into a symbol of the complicated relationship between the royal family and the British public at a moment of genuine national difficulty. The peaceful images and gentle words that might have been received differently in another context instead became a flashpoint for broader questions about empathy, awareness, and what people expect from those in positions of privilege and influence. To understand the context behind Kate's winter video and the public conversation surrounding it, it's necessary to go back to January 2024, when everything changed for her and her family. On January 16th of that year, Kate entered the London clinic for what was described as planned abdominal surgery. Kensington Palace released a statement explaining that the procedure had been successful and that she would remain in the hospital for 10 to 14 days before returning home to continue her recovery. At that time, the palace was very clear in stating that her condition was non-cancerous. They explained that she would be stepping back from public duties until after Easter to allow herself proper time to heal. The announcement was straightforward and seemed to close off further speculation about the nature of her medical situation. Prince William adjusted his schedule to be present for his family during this period, pausing several royal engagements to stay close to Kate and their 3 children. Despite the palace's assurances, the lack of specific details about the surgery encouraged widespread speculation across the country. People wondered what kind of abdominal procedure would require such a lengthy hospital stay and extended recovery period. The royal family's approach of sharing minimal information, while understandable from a privacy perspective, left many questions unanswered. Some defended this decision, arguing that Kate deserved the same medical privacy as any other patient. Others felt frustrated by the opacity, particularly given her public role. Everything shifted in late February 2024 when post-operative tests revealed something unexpected. Cancer had been present after all. The discovery meant that what had initially been treated as a routine surgical matter now required preventative chemotherapy. This was a significant turning point, transforming her situation from a temporary health issue into something far more serious and uncertain. The palace made the decision to keep this development private for several weeks. This gave Kate and her family time to absorb the diagnosis, understand the treatment plan, and prepare themselves emotionally before sharing the news with the public. Modern chemotherapy protocols vary considerably in their duration and intensity, depending on the type and stage of cancer being treated. Even the mildest versions carry side effects that can include fatigue, nausea, and what's often called chemo brain, a kind of mental fog that affects concentration and memory. The period between the February discovery and the public announcement must have been extraordinarily difficult for the family. They were dealing with the shock and fear that comes with any cancer diagnosis, while also managing the unique pressure of knowing that eventually the information would have to be shared with the entire world. The decision to delay the announcement was unusual by royal standards, but it provided Kate with space to begin treatment and find some emotional footing before facing public scrutiny. On March 22, 2024, Kate finally spoke directly to the public about her diagnosis. She released a video message that immediately felt different from anything she had shared before. Sitting alone on a bench, in a garden setting, wearing casual clothing, she explained in her own words what had happened. She described how the cancer had been discovered following her January surgery and that she had already begun undergoing preventative chemotherapy. Her tone was steady but clearly emotional as she acknowledged that the past few months had been exceptionally challenging for her entire family. She thanked the medical team caring for her and asked gently for privacy and space so she could focus on her treatment and recovery. The video was intimate and direct, without the formal polish of typical royal communications. It felt like she was speaking person to person, acknowledging her vulnerability in a way that resonated with many viewers. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Messages of support arrived from around the world. King Charles, who was dealing with his own cancer diagnosis at the time, expressed his pride in her courage. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle sent well wishes despite the ongoing tensions within the family. United States President Joe Biden offered his support publicly. Beyond these high-profile responses, thousands of ordinary people who were fighting their own battles with cancer felt a connection to her experience. Many said that seeing someone in her position speak openly about such a frightening diagnosis made them feel less alone in their own struggles. While the video focused on Kate and her message, body language experts quickly began analysing the footage for additional layers of meaning. Nicole Moore, a specialist who has studied royal communications for years, noticed something subtle but significant about Prince William, who appeared briefly in the video. Just 30 seconds into the footage, as Kate leaned against his shoulder for support, his eyes moved upward and outward for a brief moment. Moore explained that this type of eye movement often indicates internal discomfort or emotional overwhelm, the kind of involuntary response that happens when someone is searching for emotional stability while trying to maintain composure. Moore also pointed out that Kate's eyes closed when she said the word treatment, a gesture often connected to psychological distress or an attempt to soften painful memories. These tiny, almost imperceptible cues carried significant weight because they revealed the emotional toll the diagnosis had taken on both of them. The analysis spread quickly online and people began watching the video frame by frame, trying to understand the private strain behind their carefully composed exterior. These observations became part of a larger conversation about what the couple was experiencing beyond what they said aloud. It was one of those rare moments where a few seconds of silence and subtle physical reactions communicated more truth than lengthy explanations could have. The human body often betrays what words try to hide, and in this case, those small gestures offered a window into just how difficult this period had been for both Kate and William. The months that followed were largely private. Kate underwent chemotherapy under medical supervision, staying out of the public eye while she dealt with treatment and its effects. The palace provided only occasional updates, maintaining their position that she deserved privacy during such a vulnerable time. The lack of detailed information frustrated some members of the public, but others respected the boundary and simply hoped for her recovery. Then came September the 9th, 2024, another significant milestone. Kate released a new video message announcing that she had completed her chemotherapy treatment. The relief in her voice was evident as she shared the news that she was now cancer-free. She described the previous 9 months as incredibly tough, filled with challenges she hadn't anticipated. But she also expressed deep gratitude for the medical care she had received and the support from her family and the public. Importantly, she made clear that the journey wasn't over. She explained that maintaining her health would require ongoing care and attention, and that recovering from cancer treatment is a gradual process that extends far beyond the end of active treatment. This honesty about the long road ahead resonated with cancer survivors who understood exactly what she meant. The physical effects of chemotherapy can linger for months or even years, and the psychological impact of facing one's mortality doesn't disappear just because treatment ends. People around the world responded with relief and hope. For many who had followed her updates while going through their own cancer treatments, her story had become a quiet source of strength. Seeing someone in the public eye navigate the same fears and uncertainties they were experiencing helped them feel less isolated in their struggles. Body language experts returned to analyze this video as well. Moore again drew attention to Prince William's expressions, particularly at the 30-second mark where his eyes once more moved upward and outward. This happened right as Kate shared a vulnerable part of her journey. Moore interpreted this as evidence of an internal flood of emotion that he was working hard to contain. It suggested he was supporting Kate with everything he had, while simultaneously wrestling with his own fear and stress about what she had been through. Moore also examined William's lip movements throughout the video. She noted that he frequently pressed his lips together, a gesture commonly associated with stress and emotional restraint. It's the kind of physical response people exhibit when they're trying to maintain composure for someone they care deeply about. His hand remained steady on Kate's back throughout, offering visible support, but his facial micro-expressions revealed the weight he was carrying internally. Other experts agreed that these mixed signals painted a picture of someone trying desperately to be strong while feeling overwhelmed. Dr. Cassidy from the British Psychological Society joined the analysis in June 2025, observing that William's upper lip often tightened when he interacted with Kate. This tiny detail, lasting only milliseconds, pointed to emotional control and the effort required to keep feelings from spilling out. It echoed what many consider a very British instinct to remain composed under pressure, even when everything inside feels chaotic. The reactions visible in these videos weren't rehearsed or calculated. They were involuntary responses that slipped through in moments of genuine emotional strain. They showed a husband trying to support his wife through the most frightening experience of their lives while managing his own terror about potentially losing her. The analysis added depth to the public understanding of what the couple had endured, revealing layers of stress and love that their words alone couldn't fully express. Kate's next major public appearance came on January the 14th, 2025, when she visited the Royal Marsden Hospital. This was her first official engagement of the new year, and during the visit, she revealed that her cancer was now in remission. She spoke with genuine emotion about how tough the experience had been and admitted that the shock had taken considerable time to settle. She thanked the hospital staff warmly and talked about adjusting to what she called a new sense of normal. Her words carried particular weight for patients and survivors who understood the complex emotions that follow cancer treatment. Remission brings relief, but it also brings uncertainty and the ongoing need to monitor for any signs of recurrence. The visit marked not just a return to public duties, but a new chapter in her life, one defined by survivorship and a deeper understanding of fragility and resilience. While Kate's Mother Nature series appeared calm and wholesome on the surface, the way the project came together behind the scenes told a considerably different story. The filming took place throughout 2025 across several locations, with much of it shot on private royal estates. One of the primary locations was Forest Lodge, a property situated within hundreds of acres of protected woodland, completely hidden from public access. Thus, production team treated these spaces as perfect backdrops for what was being marketed as an authentic family message about connecting with nature. When the autumn episode was released in November 2025, viewers watching at home assumed the children appearing alongside Kate had been spontaneously invited to join in the outdoor activities. The video showed kids playing in leaves, exploring the forest, and enjoying what looked like an impromptu day in nature. However, details that emerged later revealed that every child appearing in the video had been carefully cast through an organized selection process. This information spread through UK media outlets and prompted questions about the authenticity of what was being presented as a natural, unscripted moment. The conversation grew more complicated when people learned that the nature centre used for filming had been temporarily closed to the public during production. Families who regularly visited the space for weekend outings arrived to find locked gates instead of the open fields they expected. Teachers who had planned educational trips for their students were forced to cancel at the last minute. Local newspapers reported that children from inner-city areas who relied on the centre as one of their few opportunities to experience green spaces showed up only to be turned away without explanation. The contrast struck many people as strange. Here was an episode encouraging parents to take their own children into nature, filmed at a location that had been made inaccessible to the very families the message was supposedly aimed at. That irony didn't go unnoticed, and it spread quickly through social media platforms where the discussion shifted from curiosity about the project to genuine frustration about what it represented. The closure itself became its own controversy. It occurred in October 2025, right in the middle of the autumn term when schools typically organise outdoor learning experiences. The Nature Centre served as a rare green space, particularly valuable for families living in densely populated urban neighbourhoods with limited access to countryside areas. When it was suddenly unavailable because of royal filming, the impact was felt by dozens of groups who had been planning visits. Social media filled with posts from disappointed parents and educators. One report indicated that 32 school groups were denied access during the filming period. People pointed out the disconnect between hearing Kate promote simple family time in nature while the specific nature centre she was using had been blocked off from public use. The Royal Press Office offered no public explanation for the closure or the decision-making process behind it, and that silence allowed speculation to flourish. Many assumed that privacy and security for the shoot had taken priority over public access, which fed into broader concerns about privilege and accessibility. The situation was discussed and sometimes mocked across platforms like Reddit and Twitter, where users felt that the gap between the message and the reality had grown too wide to ignore. The phrase cottagecore moment started appearing in these discussions, a reference to the aesthetic trend that romanticizes rural life and simple living. Critics argued that Kate's presentation of countryside simplicity felt artificial when set against the logistical machinery required to produce it, including the closure of public spaces and the casting of children. That feeling deepened when viewers looked more closely at the settings featured throughout the series. The autumn episode carried a message about endurance and finding strength through connection with the natural world. Yet the backdrop was Forest Lodge, a property known for extensive renovation projects and luxury accommodations. Reports indicated that the family had moved through several fully furnished residences since 2020, each situated on sprawling acreage with custom interiors and significant amenities. People watching the videos began comparing the language Kate used about endurance and resilience with the level of comfort and security visible in her surroundings. For many viewers, this created a disconnect that was difficult to overlook. Online discussions unfolded in forums like Royalty Tea on Reddit, where users expressed frustration about hearing someone speak about endurance from a position so far removed from the daily struggles most families face. Articles in various publications echoed this sentiment, describing the messaging as tone-deaf and out of touch with contemporary British life. The series made a clear effort to present William and Kate as a down-to-earth couple who enjoyed quiet walks and outdoor activities like any ordinary family. The videos leaned heavily into this portrayal, showing them in casual clothing, walking hand in hand through forests, and speaking warmly about the simple pleasures of being in nature. However, critics found the timing of this image-building exercise suspicious. The series arrived during a period of well-documented tension within the royal family, particularly the ongoing public rivalry between William and his brother Harry. Many observers saw the Mother Nature episodes as part of a calculated effort to shape public opinion and maintain favourable press coverage during a difficult period for the monarchy. The cottagecore aesthetic clashed uncomfortably with the reality of ongoing battles over influence, reputation, and family dynamics. Commentators noted that it was challenging to view the couple as ordinary nature enthusiasts when they were simultaneously engaged in what appeared to be a strategic campaign for public approval. The disconnect created uneasiness among viewers who had hoped for something more authentic. The wealth gap, the complicated family relationships, and the apparent strategy behind the video releases made it difficult for some people to engage with the content on the terms it was being presented. Instead of seeing a genuine moment of connection with nature, they saw carefully managed public relations. Then, in early January 2026, something happened that shifted the conversation entirely away from image management and into far more serious territory. Kate became one of the most high-profile victims of AI-generated sexual imagery. The images were created using Grok, an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by Elon Musk's company xAI, and integrated into the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter. Using publicly available photographs of Kate, Grok's image generation capabilities produced fake pictures that placed her in revealing swimwear and sexualized poses. The technology manipulated real images to create entirely fabricated content that appeared convincingly realistic at first glance. Kate was far from the only victim. Thousands of women and even children were targeted in similar ways, with their likenesses used without consent to create explicit material. The Internet Watch Foundation, an organization that works to remove child sexual abuse content from the internet, received multiple reports about the AI-generated images. Ofcom, the UK's communications regulator, contacted both X and xAI, directly demanding immediate action to address the problem. The scandal exposed serious weaknesses in AI safety systems, particularly in the editing features that allowed users to circumvent restrictions that were supposed to prevent exactly this type of abuse. The incident set off urgent conversations about how easily someone with malicious intent could manipulate innocent photographs into harmful content. It raised questions about consent, digital rights, and the speed at which technology was outpacing the legal and ethical frameworks meant to govern its use. Behind palace doors, the reaction was reportedly emotional and deeply private. Sources close to the family indicated that Kate was profoundly shaken by what had happened. The violation felt particularly painful because it brought back traumatic memories from 2012, when paparazzi photographers had used long-range lenses to capture topless photos of her while she was on private property in France. Those images had been published in various European publications despite legal efforts to prevent their distribution. Insiders described the digital attack as equally traumatic, if not more so in some ways, because it blurred the line between reality and fabrication. The 2012 incident involved real photographs taken without consent, which was a clear violation of privacy. But the 2026 deepfake incident involved images that didn't exist in reality at all, created entirely through artificial intelligence. This introduced a new dimension of violation, one where her likeness could be manipulated into literally anything without any basis in actual events. Kensington Palace maintained public silence about the incident, declining to issue formal statements. However, those close to the family confirmed that they were monitoring the situation closely and exploring potential legal options. The palace's legal team was reportedly examining whether existing laws provided adequate recourse for this type of digital manipulation, or whether new legislation would be needed to address deepfake technology effectively. Experts in digital safety and psychology warned that deepfakes carry significant psychological impact, especially for individuals who have previously experienced privacy violations. The technology creates a sense of powerlessness because the manipulated images can spread across the internet faster than they can be removed, and even after deletion, copies often remain in circulation. For someone like Kate, who had spent years rebuilding her sense of security after the 2012 incident, this new violation represented a fresh trauma that reopened old wounds. The scandal accelerated conversations about mental health in the digital age, the need for stronger protections against AI-generated abuse, and the responsibilities of technology companies to prevent their platforms from being used for harm. Many argued that the incident demonstrated why regulation of AI technology couldn't wait for perfect solutions and needed to move forward with whatever protections could be implemented immediately. X responded to the controversy by acknowledging that some users had successfully generated inappropriate AI images despite existing safeguards. The company claimed that improvements to their systems were underway, but the damage had already occurred. By the time any removal efforts began, the fabricated images had spread widely across the internet, shared and reshared by users who either didn't realize they were fake or didn't care. Elon Musk issued a statement announcing that anyone caught attempting to generate illegal content through the AI system would face consequences equivalent to what they would have faced for uploading such images themselves. Ofcom opened a formal investigation into both X and XAI to determine whether they were meeting their obligations under online safety regulations. The incident marked a significant moment in the ongoing global debate about AI ethics and the extent to which technology companies must be held accountable for preventing abuse of their systems. Kate Middleton's nature videos arrived at a moment when the British public was already exhausted and anxious. The winter video released on her birthday in January 2026 showed carefully filmed landscapes from Berkshire and the Cotswolds. Her voiceover spoke gently about healing, gratitude, and finding peace in difficult times. But while she described winter as a teacher of patience, Britain itself was experiencing one of its most challenging winters in recent memory. Hospitals across the country were operating beyond capacity, dealing with seasonal illnesses while struggling with staff shortages and resource constraints. Families were making difficult daily decisions about heating their homes or buying adequate food. Energy bills had risen to levels that forced many households to ration their heating, wearing extra layers indoors and limiting which rooms they kept warm. Against this backdrop, Kate's serene countryside footage and talk of stillness felt disconnected from the reality most people were navigating. Even commentators who typically defended the royal family expressed concern about the timing. The message of renewal and reflection seemed to be coming from a place where genuine hardship didn't exist. While Kate walked through pristine winter landscapes filmed on private estates, ordinary families were dealing with very concrete problems that couldn't be solved through meditation or nature walks. The distance between her world and theirs felt wider than it had in years past. The release of another nature-themed message later that same month added more complexity to the situation. Again, the video focused on stillness, recovery, and quiet moments of reflection. The words sounded gentle and well-intentioned, but the lack of clarity about her continued absence from most public duties made everything feel heavier. People had genuine questions about her workload, her mental and physical health, and why she remained largely out of sight while sharing these peaceful scenes. Commentators noted that the palace continued using language about survivorship and healing without providing real detail about what that meant in practical terms. Even Liz Jones, a journalist known for her generally sympathetic coverage of Kate, wrote that the release felt out of touch with the moment. As conversations continued, the public wondered whether the videos were meant to provide comfort and transparency, or whether they served more as a distraction from questions people wanted answered. The sense that something important was being left unsaid kept growing throughout those weeks. The tone of the videos themselves contributed to the reaction. Multiple viewers described Kate's delivery as reminiscent of an overly cheerful teacher trying to maintain an upbeat atmosphere while avoiding harder truths. She smiled softly and spoke about renewal, but the visual content focused heavily on simple embraces and gentle touches rather than substantive engagement with any real issues. The production felt polished but ultimately lightweight, as though it had been designed more to soothe than to inform. People looking for honesty or deeper meaning came away feeling unsatisfied. Critics pointed out that the videos offered no actual commentary on environmental issues or conservation efforts, just soft lighting and carefully scripted calm. The presentation felt more like brand management than genuine communication, which only increased the sense of detachment many viewers experienced. At the same time, media coverage began framing Kate and William's public roles as a kind of competition. Reports suggested that Kate had become more popular than William in various polls and public perception studies. Palace strategists were reportedly concerned about this imbalance and wanted to create more equilibrium in how the couple was portrayed. This created what some observers described as a quiet tug-of-war behind the scenes, influencing how videos were produced and how public appearances were staged. People began noticing that image management seemed to be the primary goal rather than meaningful public service. Each new release fed into the idea that Kate's presence was being carefully shaped for maximum approval rather than authentic connection. Online conversations increasingly treated both Kate and William as characters in an ongoing competition where every gesture, smile, or small change was analysed and judged. the focus drifted away from their actual work and toward questions of who appeared more likable or relatable at any given moment. This shift made criticism harsher because it made everything seem less genuine. Body language experts continued their frame-by-frame analysis of the couple's interactions in various videos. Nicole Moore, who had already examined the cancer announcement footage, returned to study more recent material. She maintained that the couple appeared deeply connected to one another, but she identified small signs in William's expressions that revealed underlying fragility. His eyes would dart briefly away during emotional moments. His upper lip would tighten when Kate spoke about difficult experiences. There were instances where Kate leaned into him seeking comfort, and he would look away momentarily, not because of emotional distance, but because the feelings were too overwhelming to hold steadily. Moore explained that these small reactions came from someone working very hard to stay composed under extraordinary stress. Her analysis felt convincing to many because she brought years of experience studying royal body language and had examined the footage second by second, identifying patterns that casual viewers would miss. She emphasized that William's responses weren't signs of a troubled relationship, but rather evidence of someone trying to be strong for a spouse while dealing with his own fear and anxiety about what she had been through. Dr. Cassidy from the British Psychological Society added another dimension to this analysis. She observed that William was clearly deeply in love with his wife and often moved physically closer to her in ways that seemed unconscious. He wanted proximity to her, but that same tight upper lip kept appearing, showing internal struggle. Cassidy explained that when men face a loved one's serious illness, they frequently fight to appear strong, even when they feel completely overwhelmed inside. She noted that William's rapid shifts from warm smiles to distant glances were characteristic of someone carrying pain they couldn't fully express. Her examples drew from real public events, where he would smile warmly at a crowd and then suddenly look away, revealing the effort required to maintain composure. These weren't theatrical choices or calculated moves, they were involuntary responses that emerged during moments of genuine emotional strain. All of this analysis combined with ongoing confusion about the Mother Nature video series. Kate kept releasing calming nature content while remaining absent from most traditional royal duties. People wanted to understand how she was actually doing. Because the palace continued to provide limited information, every video raised more questions than it answered. The polished production quality made the content look more like image management than honest communication about her well-being. The absence of direct engagement only deepened the mystery surrounding her situation. Analysts suggested that the videos were designed more to manage public perception than to offer real transparency. The serene visuals existed alongside her continued absence from public life, and that contrast made people wonder whether she was genuinely ready to return to work or whether she was being protected and shielded indefinitely. Her remission announcement in January 2025 had provided some clarity, but not nearly enough to satisfy public curiosity. She said she felt relieved to be in remission and grateful for all the support she had received. She also acknowledged that healing takes considerable time and that anyone who has experienced cancer understands how long the adjustment period can be. The message came after months of relative silence following her March 2024 diagnosis and the major abdominal surgery that had preceded it. Many people welcomed her words and felt relieved on her behalf. Others found the tone too controlled and wondered why she had waited so long to speak publicly. Some questioned why the statement had been posted through social media channels rather than delivered through traditional press releases or official palace communications. This shift in approach made some people feel that palace communications were changing in ways that weren't entirely transparent or trustworthy. Her return to even light royal duties was delayed until late 2025, which kept uncertainty alive in public conversations. The various controversies surrounding her videos made everything more precarious. In March 2025, she released a photograph for Mother's Day showing her with her 3 children. The image appeared warm and natural, exactly the kind of family portrait people expected. But within hours, social media users began identifying signs of digital manipulation in the photograph. Details didn't align correctly. Shadows fell in inconsistent directions. Parts of the image showed evidence of editing software artifacts. Major news agencies, including the Associated Press, Reuters, and Agence France-Presse, made the unusual decision to pull the photograph from their services, issuing kill notices that explained they could not verify the image's authenticity. Instagram added an information label to the photo indicating it had been altered. Kate issued an apology, explaining that she had been experimenting with photo editing software and hadn't intended to cause confusion or concern. She characterized it as an honest mistake made while trying to create a nice family photo. But the damage to public trust was real and immediate. The trust that many people had extended to her without question began to crumble. If a simple Mother's Day photo couldn't be taken at face value, what else might not be exactly as it appeared? Body language experts who examined subsequent appearances noted stiffness in her posture that hadn't been as pronounced before. They identified moments when her smile seemed forced or when she appeared uncomfortable in ways that suggested ongoing strain. Without open, detailed information about her health and recovery, people filled the silence with speculation and worry. The timing of her various posts and the overall tone of her video messages made many feel that she was operating out of sync with what ordinary British people were experiencing. The cost of living crisis was affecting millions of households. Food bank usage had reached record levels. Yet here were these peaceful nature videos talking about finding inner calm and connecting with the seasons, messages that felt impossibly distant from the financial anxiety dominating most people's lives. Kate's September 2024 statement about completing chemotherapy had already made clear that her recovery wouldn't follow a simple or quick timeline. She had explained that her path to full healing would be long and that she needed to take each day as it came. She mentioned experiencing speech issues and brain fog, common side effects that often persist after chemotherapy treatment ends. Even after the remission announcement, she kept her schedule notably light compared to her pre-diagnosis workload. The palace's continued reluctance to provide detailed updates about her condition encouraged speculation to flourish. Medical experts interviewed by various media outlets explained that recovery from cancer can stretch over years, affecting both physical capabilities and emotional well-being. Still, every time Kate appeared in public, people searched her appearance for signs of strength or continued weakness. Questions about whether she was ready for full royal duties circulated endlessly through online forums and comment sections. Some observers wondered whether the palace was being overprotective, shielding her beyond what was medically necessary. Others worried that she might be being pushed to maintain appearances before she was truly ready. The lack of clear communication from official sources meant that almost any interpretation seemed possible, which only fed the cycle of speculation and concern that had surrounded her since the original diagnosis became public knowledge nearly 2 years earlier.